First of all, Rob, commiserations. To lose a game like that must be gutting for everybody involved.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's very disappointing, isn't it? But it's like anything I've just said to the players, what we've got to be careful of here is spending a lot of time dissecting all the little bits and pieces and trying to use a lot of hindsight to decide things, when the reality is if that last kick misses or we force an error in that last passage of play, we win, we're over the moon, and we wouldn't have played any differently to how we played. That's kind of where I am with it. That's how I'm kind of dealing with things at the moment, is that we've contributed to a really, really good game of rugby. And I think at the end of the day, I think whichever way that final kick went probably wouldn't have been the right or the wrong answer. But I think both teams could have been justified in winning the game. I'm really proud of how we turned up here today. I think we've shown some really good qualities. And I think we've made a good Wasps team have to play very well to beat us, and I think that's what games of rugby should be about. So, I think it was two good sides going hammer and tongs, and one team had to win, and it wasn't us today.
After that sort of first 20 minutes, you're only 6-0 down. Then the momentum swung back. It looked for a large part as though it was going to be the Chiefs' day today. Yeah,
well, I think in any game, especially when you come away from home and in big occasions, there's going to be shifts in momentum, and I think on the whole, we weathered most of them pretty well. And as I said, I think we showed a lot of good qualities. I think, as anything, when we analyse the game, there'll always be things you can do better. There'll be a few things a lot of the players are very hung up about at the moment. I'm hung up about a few decisions I made, during the game as well, because you're always going to second guess when the game's that tight. But as I said, I think the way you've got to deal with it is that, emotionally we'd feel so different if we just sneaked to win. And yet we wouldn't have contributed any more or any less to the game. And I think that's the important thing for us to learn. And if we're really going to learn some tough lessons from today, the one we really have to learn is that right at the start of this whole process, we went away to the Ospreys and didn't play very well. And we didn't get a point out of an away game that, when you actually look at how we played through the rest of the pool, we probably should have challenged ourselves to be winning that game. That would have put us in charge, and today may never have happened. We could have been in charge of our own destiny. Now, to be fair to Wasps, through this pool competition, they've kept things in their hands, and they've made sure that they had a home quarter final. And in a game that tight, just maybe that's what makes the difference. And I hope that's the lesson we learn, that next year, because we're going to be in the competition again, if we get a chance to take hold of a pool, we take it with two hands from the start and not have to do it at the end.
I mean, I know perhaps the dust hasn't even settled yet, but for yourselves now, the focus has to switch purely to the Premiership. Yes,
I mean, it obviously clarifies that part of things for us. We've now got a tough challenge, and I think with Gloucester losing today as well, it's going to be a little bit about who can recover the quickest and get themselves back in the right frame of mind. And I've actually said to the players, if the lesson we've learnt is that, a few months ago we had the chance to take hold of this pool by the scruff of its neck. Well, we're still in that chance. We still got a chance to take hold of the top four by the scruff of its neck by playing well in our next three Premiership games. And that's what I hope we've learned, that actually we've got an opportunity to go to Gloucester, play Wasps again, play Quins. If we play well in all those games, we can actually guarantee a home semi-final. And that probably, that should be the lesson we learn from today if we're going to move forward positively.
Rob, Jimmy Goffin will get the headlines. Would you be sorry for Gareth Steenson won't get the headlines, but actually played brilliantly?
The truth is, I'll be sorry for quite a lot of our guys not getting the headlines, because ultimately, we've had a lot of very good performances out there. But Jimmy's played well for Wasps this season, and he's converted in a difficult scenario. As I've said, I'm desperately trying to avoid getting caught into one or two areas. I can still see some of the individual mistakes we've made now in my head, and I know that any one of them may have made the difference. But I think if we get, as a team, if we start dragging ourselves down that line, we're not actually going to see what this was all about today. And we've come here and we've gone well, we've gone hard. Yes, we made mistakes, but we stayed in the fight. We forced ourselves onto the game, and Wasps were a good side, and they've done well today. They've done well to beat us, and I think we've got to make sure they get. I mean, they will get the credit because they've won the game, but it's important they get credit as well for playing very well and putting us under pressure. I mean, you think of some of the momentum shifts in that game. They hit the post with a penalty. 2 minutes later, we're scoring under the post. We're camped on their line. We get turned over. Next minute, we're the team under pressure, having missed a tackle, on the dead ball line. Some of those shifts in momentum were incredible today. And, as I say, we weathered most of them, but we just couldn't quite weather all of them. Okay, thank you guys.